Well, our first guest this week's joining us in studio, Mr. Riggs Eckelberry. Riggs is the CEO of Origin Clear Incorporated, OCLN is their stock symbol. Riggs, welcome back to the program.
It's great to be back.
Well, great to be reinitiating coverage of the company, a new series of interviews, a very exciting company. In the last series, we talked about such an evolving situation. What's the latest since we last spoke?
Well, you know, we've been sort of in stealth mode for a few weeks because what we've been readying is the launch of WaterChain. With a whole executive team. We've now incubated this amazing water coin for about 6 months now. And, you know, it's a whole world. This coin world, I don't know how much you know about it, but it's pretty amazing.
We've had a lot of companies that have been involved with it. So it's an exciting, exciting development in the financial aspect.
It is exciting. So I call it the second internet.
Right.
You know? And so we see this water coin if you go to originclear.com and look at my CEO updates, the most recent one talks about this.
Okay.
There's an opportunity here to do what Uber did to the cab industry.
Right.
Which is, yeah, they broke the cab monopoly, but in the same process, many, many more people got into the business as small entrepreneurs,
exactly.
Right? Well, we need to do that in water. Water today is in a terrible shape worldwide. Here in California, the U.S. infrastructure is broken. It's going to take a lot of money to fix. Not going to happen anytime soon, right? Our government is so together, right?
They're working so well together, aren't they?
So what we need to move to, and the water industry agrees, is to more of a self-reliant, fix the problem on the ground where the problem exists.
Exactly.
And through a water coin, we can create a whole new generation of water entrepreneurs who could solve the problem in addition to the big centralized sites that already exist. And there's a great analogy where you have a bucket that's full of water, and that's all the central water treatment in the world. And another bucket has a small amount of water, which is the new decentralized ones.
Okay.
That bucket, once it's full, will be as large as the central.
Well, we were just talking about, I was just talking about water in the monologue and talking about governments taking a complicated problem and trying to solve it with a simple solution that never works.
Yes, and how do you solve something simply? The complicated problem, how do you really solve it, is through delegation.
Right.
Right. Look at mainframes. Always had, you know, you had to wait. You're too young to know, but you had to you had to wait your turn.
I really like you, Riggs.
You had to, time sharing and all that. So then PCs meant that, yeah, it was maybe less efficient, more machines, but more availability for us.
Right.
And so it solved all that problem of machine availability.
Exactly.
And it created a huge $1 trillion industry. So we have the same thing in water, where centralized water is not fixing it. Let's not try to solve it centralized. Let's solve it distributed.
Makes perfect sense.
Now, WaterChain, as I was saying, is moving towards launch, and we had a major event this week, just Monday on the 18th, where we welcomed all of the advisors and water industry stakeholders to the kickoff of the WaterChain Consortium.
Nice.
Because we don't want to just come in and start, tell the water industry what you need to know. No, we want this to be a collaborative thing. And so we took some video, and might want to take a look.
Let's take a look at that right now.
WaterChain, as we launched it, was good, but a fraction of what it could be given the scope of the water crisis in the world. And people have an intuitive sense that something's wrong, but in fact, things are really in a bad place.
And so you guys are a big part of what will be ultimately the solution. So we see blockchain as the connecting kind of components. And so we have some very smart technology people in this room and part of our team. And that's really where we see the ability to make a difference and do something unique. In real estate, they say it's, location, location, location. And startups and technology company, it's team, team, team. We're going to see where the existing units are that are providing water, where there's water sources that are currently off-grid that can be connected through a blockchain together, and then where there's a demand and a need for it, where the dark areas are, if you will, or the dry areas.
Not necessarily we're going to go out and buy a bunch of water, or we're going to go get a bunch of water, or clean a bunch of water. This is the system that gets wherever it came from, however it came from, and start building a market.
And the nuances are actually great for us.
So this is the technology part. So this is the blockchain. the smart contracts, which are the cryptos. This is kind of the technology piece. This is the fundraising where we have capital markets and digital currency markets. This represents that, and hopefully there'll be some capital raised for this. This is the actual business. This is the WaterChain business. You can't go store genomic data in a blockchain. Ain't gonna happen. I can put a reference to it, whack server name / share name / file.pdf, and I can put that in a database.
And now you're developing, which I've learned from Reese, this massive amount of data, which is really a valuable asset. And so what I like is creating those, and we'll create an algorithm around this that does all this. And then the Forum Exchange, I love the partnership thing. This is huge.
Bunch of guys that got together at Cape Canaveral, and they said, hey guys, how do we make a spaceship travel through space? And I said, hey, let's dip into the each orbit, blow out enough gas, and we can turn it into a fuel, and the ship never needs any propulsion. Next thing you know, Orion's up there cruising around Mars. Things happen, you know, when you really get a bunch of guys together to think about it.
Okay, I'm a consortium member. I contribute data, and I have a certain amount of rights to access data, but I don't have the keys to the kingdom necessarily. Is there a way that we can?
Just slice and dice that stuff.
You can separate who has access to it and how they use it and provide keys separately to it.
Thank you all for your time. Really appreciate it. It means a lot to me because everyone in here has a big billing rate, and I know how valuable you guys are. So thank you again, and we'll get this going again in the future.
David, thank you.
Or the peace sign too is another one to do. All right. Or peace sign.
Well, Riggs, that is some amazing footage.
You know, what you see there in this room is these top people really focusing on how to create an economy, tokenomics as we call it, around water and a water coin, and it's really happening. I was blown away, and they all said, you know, uniformly, and we'll be coming out with all the one-on-one interviews over time, that they were blown away by the quality of the people in there and how much momentum it had. I was sitting there going, you know what? This thing's happening. It's rolling.
Well, business people get things done as opposed to the government, which just seems to do a lot of this. So it's really encouraging.
And there's so much momentum in the crypto world behind this. What I like about it is, now that we're rolling out WaterChain, you'll be hearing more about that, but also we get to focus on our core business, which is booming, and I want to tell you about that next week.
This is going to be an exciting series. Once again, Origin Clear, OCLN. Stick with us the next several weeks. This is going to be fun. Riggs, thanks so much.
My pleasure.